And we're back. How are you guys? Uncle Bruce here. How you doing? Welcome back to Friday. And we're back. I love that. We're back. Friday the 11th, June the 11th, 2021. We're back for the afternoon show. Last hour of the closing day today for the week and the first hour of the aftermarket. Nice to see you again. Just getting figured out here where we're at and where we're going and what's happening out there. Welcome all of you to the show, and enjoy that. I'm glad that you're here. And somebody just said you're 2 minutes late. Thank God you're noticing. Thanks, somebody's noticing what I'm doing. There's somebody actually here paying attention to this guy. Fantastic, everybody. How you doing out there? What is going on? The Dow is down 34 points. S&P is up 1, NASDAQ up 23. Oil is up 45 cents a barrel to 70.74. Watching closely are some of our favorite stocks. SOFI has been underwater for quite a while. It's interesting to see how this trading pattern has been developing on SOFI. Around 10 o'clock or so, just around 10 o'clock. Where am I here with my thing? Here's my thing. I'm looking for the charts. I can figure out what's going on. It hit the bottom of 22.16 or so. I guess it hit the bottom. And that was just around 10:30 this morning, Eastern time. And from about 11 o'clock in the morning, all the way now to now, this stock has been sitting between maybe 25.60, maybe 25.75 or 22.75, and about 22.50. It's been this in a 25-cent range for quite a number of hours. Very weird performance. 2.2 million traded today on SoFi. No new news that I can tell you about. There's a lot of speculation always on what the stock's going to be and what they're going to do and where they're going to go. 22.60 right now, down 43 cents. The low 22.16. I mean, the range today, not a ton. But yeah, just it's kind of strange. It did open up this morning in the 23s, but gave that up very quickly. We lost the $23 handle around 9:52 in the morning. And the stock went from 23.30, the high, down to 22.16 for the low. And now we're in this 22.61 range. And that's where we're at. We're just, we're not going very far at this point. But look, down 41 cents. That is chump change for this company and the stock. I mean, we have seen this stock move up or down $1, and a half in 20 minutes. So with 55 minutes to go and it's sitting at 22.61, it could at any time pick it up. If there was someone getting out and been selling all day long, I don't know, who, what, where, when, and why, but that selling, if this thing pops up over 275, 280, could be done for, and we might see it pop. On the GameStop today, quite an interesting pattern here. I got off the air with you guys, and we were sitting around this $230 range. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, we were in the 220 range, 225 range, 228 range. The stock took a drop after 11 Eastern time, and it reached its low today of 206.13. Just around 11:43 or so, and then within an hour of that, by 12:43, it was back up to 213, and then took a shot from the 213 level up to 227, a $14 pop, then popped up to 228. But we haven't been up there now since. That was at 109 Eastern time, 228, 229 ballpark. Right now we're at 223.42, up 303 on the day. And it's just a Mexican standoff. We've had this up, this down, and now this middle ground. 13.2 million traded today, plus yesterday's volume. Makes me wonder if by chance the company has successfully issued out their 5 million share sale and they've raised their dough. Did they raise about $1.2 billion ish? Is that kind of the number after commissions? We'll find out. Will they announce this now, today, over the weekend, Monday morning. I don't know. Is it completed? I don't know. But I just get the impression that with the volume yesterday and today, and with today's trading pattern, very, very interesting dip during the day. I wonder if they dropped it down low enough to get blocks of stock off, and now it's just coming back on again as retail investors are taking over the trading of the stock. Your guess is as good as mine. We will stand by and watch that coverage. Fortress Value, what an interesting day for Fortress. This is a stock, of course, that has their shareholder meeting in 4 days. This being June the 11th. On the 15th, they have their meeting. The stock this morning had been doing what it's always been doing, sitting around this $10 range. Up until a week ago or a few days ago, was trading around $9.95 to $9.98 kind of thing, and then finally it got into the $10 neighborhood. Right after 11 o'clock, by about 11:13, it started making a bit of a move. It got up to $10.12 and then ran up to $10.22, and that was reached at 1:59, 2 o'clock Eastern. Stayed there for a while and then ran into a cliff and just fell right off down to 10.05 and then down to 10.04. Now it is back to 10.12 a share on Fortress Value Acquisition, as it seems to be creeping up a little higher again, just coming back on again. Kind of interesting to watch that pattern. The volume today, 2.46 million shares. I don't know. It's been a while since we've seen any kind of volume on it. There's no actual story on the stock officially. I just know that 4 days from now they're having their shareholder vote to become ATI Physical Therapy, and the stock has been inching higher. So something there is happening, and it's a good thing. Going up is a good thing. I call that good. Let's keep it going. All right, AMC up 387. Had a high here of 49.22 today. Could not hit the $50 mark. It's backed off to 46.71, but up 390 on the day on 176 million. And over at Gores, again, an up pattern to start the day, ran up to 16.23, came all the way off to the 15.50-60 range, looks like. Gores Holdings, here we are. It's right now at 15.90-91, but it seemed to have backed off down to about the 15.55 neighborhood, and that was near the low of the day, and now back up again to 15.91. And it looks like it's got a nice little run up coming here into this last hour. Now we'll see if there's more momentum behind it to take it back to 16 level. 16.23 is the high. Volume today, 573,000, and no news that I can find anywhere about the company's shareholder meeting. That has got to be imminent, because this stock, with Matterport behind it, that's going to take this thing over, is coming on right now. It is definitely coming up. VGAC, 11.08 right now, down 7 cents. Same pattern here. We had a very nice start to the day on VGAC. It shot up right up to its high of the day, 11.20, and the volume today, 1.36 million. It did that in the first hour or so, for half an hour. Backed off, and within, I bet you within half an hour of hitting its high, it hit its low of 10.83, but that's a 40-cent range. No big whoop. Flatlined for a couple of hours, and now since about 12:30 Eastern time to now, to just before a few minutes ago, it was sitting in the same 20-cent range. It is now breaking out and is now up to 11.08, 11.10 range. This is definitely its highest level since this morning's highs. So we have traded through all of the muck this morning, and it is now, looks to me like it might go higher if there's any kind of a buying volume coming into the last hour of the day here. All right, so VGAC poised maybe to come up and break the positive line, maybe be up on the day. We'll see if this happens or not. Fifth wall is at 11.50. Been very steady today, pretty well. It's up 14 cents today on 543,000 shares. VACQ down 5 cents today to 10.47, a very tight trading range, 15 cents between high and low. Not much happening there. NSH, a NAV site, open strong at up to 10.10, and it's now been sitting at $9.99 to about $10 all afternoon. It just has no downside to it. Very steady. SVAC 10.06, up 2 cents on the day, very steady across the board. Just a flat line chart. We've got the Dow down 33 points. Hardly an issue here. No problems in in New York land as far as the Dow goes. No pressure. Excuse me. S&P up a point and NASDAQ up 18 points. So a flat day today, really. Nothing really dramatic going on. Pyro Homani, what caused GameStop slump? ETF shorting, manipulation. Floor is much higher, keeps going higher, but I'll take the discount, scoop up some more stock. Yeah, I just look at this GameStop and marvel at it. I just think that there's a retail army of investors coming into the stock just relentlessly. Every week, more money is coming into the stock to just buy it up, and the number of shareholders, I think, is growing, just growing every week. More and more retail investors buying into the stock, and when you get these big block trades go through, get done, it moves the stock up or down. Then they get out of the way, the stock is left to itself, and it just kind of gets accumulated. It's just getting picked up. More of the stock is being bought and put away. It's just a pattern that I sense. There have been wild gyrations. I mean, come on, what's not been happening in the last 3 months? My gosh. But for 2.5 months, we were sitting in this, we talked about this, 140 to 165 range, 170 range. And then we've had this breakout, and now, this back down here, but it's just not coming way down. Seems to be wanting to come back to the 220, 250 neighborhood again. Very interesting pattern on GameStop. Really amazing. People are buying into the Ryan Cohen Express, and they're looking at the Ryan Cohen future, and they like what they see. Now, last night, one of you asked me yesterday, what do you think about Chewy? Because they seem to have come up with their numbers and their stock isn't doing too well, or something along those lines was the question. And Chewy released their finances last night and had another profit, and it was their second consecutive quarter of earnings, and I'm trying to find this. What is it? The symbol for Chewy. There it is. CHWY. Chewy 75.01, down 4.34 a share today. High of 78. And so they're down a tad. They had strong first quarter results and a bullish outlook. But they are talking about the fact that they had a surprise profit warning of labor shortages and supply disruptions. Here's a company that has just slowly but surely coming on with their earnings, and now they have turned the corner and are starting to make a profit. This is a Ryan Cohen founded company, Chewy, the online pet food and supply seller. They are getting stronger, and the company now is beginning to start putting up quarterly profitable numbers. This is the pattern of the company, and it will not end. They had for January 31st in 2020, a year ago, they had for that quarter 1.35 billion in sales. A year ago, this quarter, 2 billion in sales. That again is a strong increase in the number of transactions, and people get addicted to this company service. They just do not give it up. And if you're a pet owner, you know how frustrating it can be to basically have to go to the pet store yourself and pick up stuff when you can just now order it and have it brought in every so many weeks or months or whatever you want on a pattern. And it's the same stuff every time that you want. It comes in every time the way you want it. Chewy knows their clients. They know their customer. They know their customers' likes. 21 million in pre-tax income for the quarter came through, and net income $21 million versus last year, a loss of 60 million for the same quarter. So you don't look at this and go, oh, well, they made 20 million. No, what you do look at is you go, wait a minute, they lost 60 million to go positive 21 million. That's an $80 million gain year over year for this quarter. That is extremely good. That is really good. If they add 80 million more next year to this bottom line from this year, that would give them a $100 million quarter a year from now. It's the kind of pattern you want to keep a peek on. Anyway, there you go. stronger numbers. Again, I'm might be quoting here last year's numbers. 31st of January 2021 ending. And we February, March, and April. We should be looking for that. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm quoting you the final quarter of the year last year, not the first quarter. Sorry, but I really like that number. That looks pretty good. Let's see if I can find these financials for you. I'm doing this on the fly. Sorry, everybody. Hang in there with me. Here we go. Quarterly profits. Here we go. This was released last night by the company. All right. Let's see if I can get this to work. May. As of May 2021, there we go. They've got 637 million cash on hand. They're in good financial shape. May 20. Okay, so this quarter just ended. May 2021, 2.1 billion in sales. Last year, 1.6 billion. Very good. That is strong. Very good increase. A net income, 38 million versus a loss of 47 million. There you go. Take those numbers. That's even better than the last quarter of last year's for the first quarter of this year to go from 47 million loss to 38 million in gain. Very good. Yeah, very, very strong. 9-cent profit in the quarter. There are 415 million shares outstanding, approximately 427 total weighted shares out. So they're making money and they're growing and their customers love them, but the stock is under pressure, and it does happen. We noticed it with GameStop and other companies, how you sell on the news, and I guess people are selling on the news at $75 a share. But at this pace, they keep up this pattern. Obviously, they're going to have a full year earning a net profit. Now the question will be, can they keep growing these net profits on top of the net profits? And my hunch is, yes, they will. And they are definitely on their way to better days. The stock will reflect this eventually. Will reflect this positively. All right, $225 a share on GameStop, up $465 a share at the moment. If GameStop can break 230, we will be at the highest level since this morning's opening hour. So this stock needs a little bit of a pop from here. It might get it. If it can break through, like I said, another $5 a share from here, that would give GameStop its best point of the day, pricing of the day for the day since this morning. Okay, there you have it. Welcome one, welcome all to the afternoon show here. Friday, the last day of the week. What do you think? Is anyone making money? Someone mentioned an announcement on GameStop at 3 o'clock. I don't know if that's official. I think we heard a little later that there's some kind of an interview being done or some kind of a conference that someone's part of. We're not sure. It might be newsworthy. We'll see what's going on. Bruce, I'm writing my first call. I'm writing first call. I'm writing a November $15 call. Okay, I'm not recommending you write calls on FAII. I'm recommending you buy calls on FAII. Do not sell calls on FAII. But this message, as I read it, Leon, as I'm reading it, you are indicating that you're going to sell a call contract. I'm not. I have been talking to my group of investors to buy call contracts for as far out as you can on FAII. You can only go out to November. That's as far as they go at the moment. Buying a $15 call at 140 is what you are apparently going to do, or at least you're looking at. But I'm not sure if you're trying to buy it or sell it. So I'm not recommending you sell it. But if you did, you did. If you are, you are. $15 call contract. For November, I would not be writing it at this point. I'd be looking at writing higher calls later after the merger is done in 4 days. You could find that the stock in 4 days is trading at $14, $15 or $20 in the next week or two, and you're going to wonder, why are you selling your call for? Why did you write a call? I show the market at 140 to 185 on a $15 call right now, and even if I were selling it, I would not sell it at 140. I would be offering it at 180 and trying to get the market to come up to me. But again, I would not be writing a call against FAII. The only calls I mentioned that people consider writing in the predominant two stocks have been GameStop and AMC that I've been talking about. If you're thinking of writing a call contract, those would be the two that I would consider writing calls against for income. The SPACs that I've talked about, I am telling people to consider purchasing call contracts far out, if possible, November at least for this one, but if not even further, can you get January's for some of these others? That's what I'd be doing. So I'm not sure, Leon, what you're up to. And let's see, Leon, I've only got level 1 options. I can't buy at that, right? Only sell. Leon, the market on the call is 140 to 185. That means the highest bid that someone is offering right now is 140. The cheapest offer for sale is 185. If you're trying to go long, you have to pay 185 if you take it at the market. I would not recommend you go to the market to buy it. I would recommend you bid 145 to try to get it and just be 5 cents higher than the best buyer, be 1 nickel better than that, and that's it, and let it come to you if it comes to you. Leon, I hope you are getting this right. Leela, Brian, TDA is showing, TD Ameritrade is showing GameStop with 71.8 million outstanding. Could this mean GME is selling right now? No, I don't think that means that at all. It means that as far as TD goes, they're showing 71.8 million total outstanding, probably including all management options in play. This could be right from their latest financial filing. Once they get the 5 million sold, it should show 76.8 million, I think, outstanding. Danielle, super sticker, $10. Thank you, buddy, for that. Thank you, those of you making donations to the channel. Appreciate that. Okay, what else have we got going on here? There's apparently an interview with Third Bridge, Bama Babe is saying, and I don't know what the implications of that are. Does anyone know, Third Bridge, why we have to care? Is there something there with that between Third Bridge and GameStop? Does anyone know this? It's not hitting on my radar today. Okay, B. Tillison, Tiltonson. I've been watching since January and finally smartened up and joined the subscription. Shout out to all the folks here and big thumbs up to Uncle Bruce. B, thank you, BT. Appreciate that. Let's see. Douglas says, I wrote 2 calls on GME this morning for $242.50 for $2.10 a pop and bought 2 shares with credit. Something's not working for me here. I wrote 2 calls this morning on GameStop, but I don't know what you got. That doesn't sound right to me. You guys have got to be much more. Give me zeros. Tell me what you're doing. This 2.1, 1.6. I don't know what you mean. I'm trying to read these comments and understand what you're saying, but you're not helping us. Bruce, I thought I bought some call contracts on GHVI and VGAC back in April. Both expire July the 16th. I'm up on all of them, but wondering if I go ahead and roll or wait a week or 2. All right. So Gores and VGAC. Well, VGAC just became 23andMe. Wait till next week when it starts trading at 23andMe as 23andMe. See if you have some more upside there. Same with Gores. You haven't got the shareholder date yet, so you can wait a little longer. I mean, you've got till July, so you're good for another 5 weeks. So you may want to wait another week or 2 weeks on these before you do anything else. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Leon, you need classes, man. Don't do anything. I don't think you should be doing anything right now. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Thank you everybody for hanging around with me today. Okay. Jen and I are getting our shots Tuesday. Our next shots are Tuesday. Sitting with a thought, if you have any debt tied to the prime lending rate, be careful. I don't know what the future will hold, but a lot of folks see inflation on the horizon, pay off or renegotiate. Rates are dropping. Sitting Bull, interest rates are falling right now. The 10-year note is down to the 1.45, and it looks like it might go even lower. Rates in Europe are dropping right now as well. All week, interest rates have been falling. So I'm not sure about an interest rate thing coming anytime soon. Galaxy WZRDZ, thank you for becoming a member, Galaxy. Nice to have you joining us. That's good stuff. I'm glad you're here. Let's go back to Fortress is now at 1013, by the way. And GameStop at 227 now, coming up a little better, coming up a little higher. If it can break 230, It'll be at the highest level since first thing this morning, very early this morning. That's very good. SoFi at 22.45, down 57 cents. Or am I right on that? Yeah, SoFi, yep, 22.45, still under some pressure there, just upside down on the day. Gore's 15.88, up 32 cents. And it's kind of leveled off here in this 15.8 level in the last half an hour, looking better than for like the last 3 hours. Okay, and VGAC, Virgin 1101, through the 11 again, barrier again, had just been up into that 1110 range. So we'll watch for all this. Thank you everybody for being here and hanging out with yours truly on a Friday afternoon. We have 33 minutes to go. We're down 41 on New York. We're up a third of a point on S&P, and we're up 22 on NASDAQ. There's nothing happening in the big market right now. There you go. All right, let's see. Uncle Bruce, we took some profit. We sold 10 shares at GameStop and bought a trip to go to Vegas in November. My wife says, thank you for all that you've taught us. Hey, you need a trip, you're getting a trip, and that's what it's all about. Way to go. And if you're taking profits, you're taking profits. There's nothing wrong with any of this. Uncle B, I'm thinking about selling all of my SPY, and putting all of my money into GameStop to lower my average. Do you think that's a good idea? You're trying to get a lower average at 228 a share? How high of a cost factor have you got? I don't know. That's wild. Kind of wish you did this when it was 160. Anyway, good luck to you on that. Let's see. Yeah, we only have 274 likes. So Yoko Ono is just around the corner. We got a shot at playing Yoko today. 297 thumbs ups with 32 minutes to go before we close. And that means we can pop this baby on the turntable and crank up Yoko this afternoon. Unless, of course, you thwart the effort by hitting us up with 1,000 thumbs ups, but I don't know if that's going to happen. 323. I'm going to take a prevent on this and get this album on the turntable right now. There we go. We got this great track right here. We can start dancing to Yoko. If you guys don't want to give me 1,000 thumbs ups, we'll start dancing to Yoko. This will be great. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, baby, woohoo! Mind you, there's so few folks here. We might not make it to 1,000 thumbs ups today. I mean, that can happen. Anyway, the turntable is up, and she's on the turntable. And we'll fire that thing up. There's 389 thumbs ups. I do thank you for the 389, but 401. I'll give you 401, but I don't know if we're going to make it today. We might have to play her. Uncle Bruce, give us general advice. He doesn't tell us what to do trading wise. There you go. Uncle Bruce, I'm up $4,000 on call contracts for VGAC. Should I buy more since it's going so well? Oh man. That's a pattern too. People start chasing a winning trade. Anyway, when you get dips, you buy more, I guess, if that's the way you're going to go with it. You get dips, you pick up more. Fortress value, some of you, if you haven't got into Fortress, your time might be running out on Fortress. You're down to 4 days before the meeting and the stock's at 10.14, up 16 cents. We haven't had this pattern ever on Fortress. Fortress is beginning to wake up from its nap. Anyway, there we go. Douglas, thank you, Douglas. I wrote 2 calls expiring today, 242.50 strike price at 2.1. Use the credit to buy 2 GameStop shares. There's no way you can buy 2 shares unless you brought in some serious money, and you didn't bring in serious money. I don't understand this contract. I do not understand this comment. I don't know what that number means. 2.1. What is that? 227 and climbing, 227.59 on GameStop. Did you write? I'll look at this comment. I'm looking at this comment like for the 4th time. Are you writing call contracts that are way out there? Is that what you did? And then you brought in enough money that way because there's no date on these, so I have no idea what contracts you're writing. I am a blind man walking around not knowing and not seeing what you're up to. How do I know? How does anyone know? What's life all about? How do we all know anything? How does anyone know anything about anything? Talia, let me take a peek here. 242.50s. Okay, in theory, did you write July 11s or something like that? Or sorry, what were these? Did you write July 5s? July 2s? Did you write July 2s? And did you bring in $20-something, or did you bring in Did you bring in $2,100? I don't know. He sold 2 contracts for 245 for 2.1 times 200 420. Then he used that to buy 2 more shares. 245.50 calls. 245.50. What? There are no 245.50 calls. Yeah, he wrote to. Okay, all right. Fenville, thank you. I think that helps. But boy, am I lost. Is it me? Is it? Am I the problem today? Maybe I'm the problem today. Uncle Bruce, FAII, November 19, 1250 calls. They have a BE of 1465. FA calls have a what? Seems likely they'll be in the money by November based on the bullish interest, but might be best to wait for the vote to go through first before they extend the merger. Yeah. My advice, I'd buy those 1250 calls. I wouldn't dilly-dally around. The stock's at 1013 and it's going higher. This deal's going through. I don't know why you people think it isn't, or anyone think it isn't. These deals are going through. These are done deals. We have millions of dollars, and I'm talking, in some cases, upwards of $10 million in legals on the line, pre-spent on these mergers. These are going through. There's no, we might extend it, we might or might not. No, they're going through. If they're having their meeting in 4 days, it's a done deal. The vote is in. It's going to happen. So I don't know where people think it might or might not happen. It's going to happen. 227.86 on GameStop, 227.96 on GameStop. So we're approaching $228 now, just short or just in and around the high of the day since this morning's trading up until 11 in the morning. So if we break 230, like I said, we will be back into about the first hour's performance, and we'll have gone through all the sell-off today on GameStop. Volume on GameStop now, 14 million shares. I kind of get the vibe that this deal is done. This $5 million share deal is done. Anyway, you'll see what's going on. All right. What's going on here? Break even, ran out of room. Haha. Doug, I followed you with laugh a lot. I sold a 300 earlier this week, sitting on money now. All right. Uncle Bruce, I'm loving these option plays you're giving us. Bought 10 November 10 calls. And the stock has gone down, and yet my money is going up. God bless you and Jen. Yeah, people are getting into the stock. They're getting in there. All right, 227.32. All right. What else is going on here? Uncle Bruce, I wrote 10 GameStop call contracts at strikes of 290 and 350 for June 18 and June 25. Bought loads of SoFi stock with the premium you demand. Okay, now we're talking. Good stuff. Way to go. All right. Okay, I have no more cash to spend until I get paid on the 15th. Says Carter Call. I'm already doubling my money on 20 FAII 15 call contracts bought months ago. Way to go, Yakin. Let's see. There you have it. Glitch Fizz. People didn't buy SoFi and VGAC when it was super quiet and now are kicking themselves. You buy when no one wants it and sell when everybody wants it. FAII and NSH are good to go right now. Now you buy them. This is it. FAII is hinting already. It's been sending out warning signs all day. I'm about to take off in price now. You better get my contracts now. I'm about to get going. That's the code. I don't know if you get that. NSH is sitting here at $10, up a nickel today, and they're holding it here. It's time to buy NSH option contracts now. Do not dilly-dally. You're about to lose it. But you know what? If you don't want to move now when it's quiet, you can pay a lot more later, and it's okay. You'll make someone else money then, and there you have it. Okay. The SoFi, it's hilarious. SoFi is being kept down literally below 22.50 all day. These hedges not even trying to hide it anymore. I get this vibe. SoFi is definitely being kept down here. There's something brewing. I don't know what it is, but there's something up on SoFi. It has not had a free reign. There's something something going on. SoFi is a buy. It's going to be a winner, and I am puzzled by why are these shares here? I don't know if it's being held by is there a big transaction coming? Is there a giant cross trade happening, block trade? GameStop just popped 231. There we go. That's the highest level now since this morning. GameStop is on a roll right now. SoFi, I am mystified. So if you are trying to get call contracts on SoFi, and because it's been held here, you might want to get in there. But that's what we got. SoFi volume is 2.4 million. Nothing crazy. So I'm a bit stumped by that too. So I got greedy. I bought back my $82 500 covered calls that I sold for $82 for $41 today. But like an idiot, I wrote a 220 covered call for today for a quick $3. Of course, the price shot up right after. Now I'm hoping not to get exercised. Oh, you're getting exercised. You're done for. You're getting taken out. You better buy them back right now. You are. These are mistakes you should not be making. But again, this is what happens with rookies. You had a killer deal there. You could have just sat back on the 41 buy. You could have now been looking at the stock running up later today and into Monday, and then rewrote these again. But nope, you went into what's going. Why you would write a 220 for such a small amount of money? No point in it whatsoever. But anyway, kids. Live and learn, watch and learn. 231 on GameStop. It could close at 240 today. You're going to get taken out. At least that's my gut. I could be wrong, but 22 minutes to go. This thing is broken out. Wow. JR, come on. Anyway, there you have it. What else is being said here? Kids. So the consensus from Max says, the consensus in FAI is that it will hit 1465 even in November. Seems to be so good. Why there's going to be cost of the merger? Max, you got to understand something with call contracts. The stock right now is $10.11, and the contract right now is showing a $2.15 value. If the stock reaches $14, the 12.50 call will be $150 book, probably be trading at about $4. If the stock hits 15, it'll be trading at $4.50. The stock hits 17, they'll probably be trading at 8. The contract will go up in value as the stock inches up in value. That's what's going to happen, and you're just watching it trade away on you. If you're not getting it, you're going to miss it, and it's up 14 cents now. Nothing incredible, but this is a breakout for FAII. It has begun to trade above the $10 line for the first time in months, because the shareholder meeting is in 4 days. I don't know how much more I can emphasize this to anybody, but I am obviously not getting through to people, or they don't care. It's okay. It's all right. Thumbs ups. How are we doing on the thumbs ups? 488. Oh, we're turning on the record player. Come on, we're turning it on. We might as well just start playing it. I mean, what's the point? There's no one's going to go to 1,000 thumbs ups today. Okay, she's spinning now. We got the turntable run. We'll pop that record on here in just a moment. If we can't get 1,000 thumbs ups today, we're going to start playing Ryoko Ono here. It's going to be fun. 231 on GameStop right now. 231.11 is where we're at this moment in time. All right. Threatening him with Yoko. What a guy. Let's see. Yes, NSH is also hinting call options could go up at any time. And we've got 230.31 on GameStop right now. Here we go, baby. Let's go. So fine. Let's see what's going on here. Uncle Bruce, if options expire out of the money, and you don't exercise them, what happens? You're out of the money. Your contract is worth zero. They just die and they're gone. That's the end of it. They don't exist anymore. Starting Monday morning, your stock quote ain't there anymore. They're gone. They're worthless. If you sold them, you're a happy person. If you bought them, you're an unhappy person. Just watching, SoFi kept down, but so my 2350 calls expired worthless, and I get paid What? Okay, covered calls. GameStop, 300 covered calls get me monies too, so they've sold more. Yes, you've written contracts that are out of the money. You're in the chips. These contracts, this money that you received is all yours. It's yours. You're under no obligation to offer your stock to anyone anymore after the bell tonight. You are down to 18 minutes to go on the 2350 SOFIs. The stock's at 2240. Yeah, they're out of the money. And by the way, GameStop NFT has been confirmed. And Michael is saying, y'all need some patience. It was a while you were off the air, Bruce. It was while you were off the air. Someone is saying something here. Should I buy, Uncle B, should I buy more SoFi or go with FAI and NSH? Your call. How much money you got? You have to make your own buys. They're all good. So up to you now. We got to learn these options, man. All right now, it was like when GameStop was on the move. We're at 230.91 on GameStop right now. 22.42 on SoFi. FAII at 10.12. Gore's at 15.88 and VGAC $11. That's where we are right now. Carter Cole, it's good and bad options equals more complicated, but then you get the leverage. There you go. Okay. Let's see. If there's only a class where they would teach you about options, if some YouTuber could do that in the near future, maybe we can make this happen. All right, let's go. Hang on. Okay, guys, thank you. How are we doing for Yoko? 17 minutes to go. We're at 582. The turntable's spinning. We have 582 thumbs ups. I appreciate this. I really appreciate you giving me some thumbs ups here. We have 1,140 of you here. If we can get to 1,000 thumbs ups, I won't have to put this needle on this record album. We're at 585, 594, coming up to 600 thumbs ups. I thank you, but we are running out of time. We need 1,000 thumbs ups in 16 minutes. If you can help out, that would be terrific. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see what's going on here. AJ, you're having cold feet about putting in your first contract. Give me a few ideas. I'm thinking of SoFi, VGAC, possibly. You think, yeah, look, all three I like. All three you buy long. All three you sit and wait. Get one of each and just sit there and see what gives, if that's what you can afford to do. Uncle Bruce, have you heard of the new rumor about butter? It's being spread everywhere. Yeah, it's an Uncle Bruce dance-off here with Yoko coming on. We're getting ready to play Yoko. Fire up the music. We're not getting 1,000 thumbs up. Thanks, Uncle B. All that emphasizing. I needed time to buy FAI and NSH November calls. Love you, Brucey. AB, I know you said not to buy calls close, but I got 5 $10 calls for FAZ mid-July. Gambling, meaning Credit Suisse will push it up $2. Probably not. If I don't go up 5 cents in a month, laugh out loud. Sometimes you can't help people. You tell them, don't do this, they do this. And that's what they do. Uncle Bruce, did you know John Lennon's nicknames for Yoko? Mother Superior. Well, thank you very much. Let's go. Rob. Okay, guys, I bought it back at 13. What a dumb move. Let's go. I just bought another 7,000 shares of FAI. Uncle Bruce is just too convincing. It is 10.13 on FAII, up 15 cents. Carter, I've started to try and do the math on options contracts in my head while on walks. They break my brain. Rob says, I'm going to cry. Oh, Rob, you're good, bud. They're probably going to drop to 210 now. 229.12 is where they're at. Jordan Brown. Thank you, Jordan, for becoming a new member of the channel. Despite all the craziness, appreciate you being here. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Let's go. Let's see. What does it mean to roll over? You get out of one contract and then you just get into another. In some cases, depending on the trading platform you have, you can trade your options in such a way that you hit a button called a rollover button. It depends which platform you're using. Some offer this where you're selling the call you have or contract you have, and then you're telling the machine you want to buy another one simultaneously. So you're doing a sell of this one and a buy of that one, selling a contract that expires shortly to get another contract that expires way down there at a different strike price, whatever, at a set price, and away you go. What can I say? Always gaming. You talk the whole time about contracts. What the hell am I doing? You explain it and I'm not listening. I'm an idiot. Jordan saying, thank you for welcoming me into the channel. You're welcome. Thanks for coming in here. Oh my gosh. Let's see. FYI, break even is simply the exercise price plus premium paid if you exercise. All righty. There you go. Joe, Uncle Bruce, I bought back my $22 call GameStop for 5 cents. What? I bought my 22 covered call games and I sold for $3.50 today. Oh, okay. You bought back your call contracts that you sold today, and for a nickel, you made $350. Made $7,000 in one day. Wrote a new covered call for next Friday. Strike price $302.50 with an $8 premium. I'm in the game, Uncle Bruce. Yeah, now you're talking. Now you got it, Joe. Way to go. You're offering your stock next week for $302.50. Come and get me. And you got paid $8 right now in cash, and you cleared $350 today on those contracts you wrote this morning, which are way out of the money. Beautifully done. Nice job. Okay, there you go. James, SVAC long dated contract still looking like a deal. And I can't wait till you get your options classes going, Bruce. I need the help. And Michael, I bought back at a loss. Okay, it's okay. I learned something today, and it cost me more than Bruce's one-on-one. Michael, hey, Uncle B, just curious why VACQ doesn't have options available. I don't know. It will change, but I don't know. Holy moly. When class, Rob, it sucks, but glad to get to keep your shares. I want to hear Yoko. Well, thumbs ups of 669 now. We still need 331 thumbs ups in 12 minutes to not hear Yoko. But right now, Brandon, you might be able to hear Yoko because with 330 thumbs ups short of 1,000 thumbs ups, Yoko might be she's on the turntable. It's spinning right now. I might have to put the needle on this thing. 681, you're still 319 okay. As long as we don't get 310 more thumbs ups, we'll be able to play Yoko, and we'll crank that baby up. 311 thumbs ups away. And you've got Yoko. It just depends if we get 1,000, I can turn this machine off and we won't have to listen to Yoko. But right now, 697 thumbs up, 700 thumbs ups. We're 300 thumbs up short of stopping Yoko. I don't know if there's enough people here who have enough desire to do that. I think they actually want to hear Yoko today. I don't know. Thanks for all your advice, Uncle Bruce. Finally joined. I got a November 1250 call at 80 cents, and I'm almost double in a week. Nice. All right. Good afternoon, Jamie. Yes, the Weber Grill turntable. That's right. Oh, man. How much to hear that record play? How much? Also, for that 220 guy, if you have the powder, do a rollover into a 300 or 350 that expires in likely July or August that has a premium at least as high as your July 11 you sold. Yeah, Brandon is saying, oh, gosh, I missed this comment. Yeah, I missed these. Oh, sorry. My machine is glitching on me. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, here we go. Uncle Bruce, my friend Pat emailed you for a one-on-one the other day. By the way, thank you for responding to my email. Right on, buddy. Let's go. Yeah, here we go. Just listen to Uncle Bruce and buy calls on the stock as far as you can and sit back and chill with a bagel. I did last year, and I'm changing my lifestyle, man. What's everybody drinking? Honest Harry, thank you for this donation. Bought 100 call contracts for VGAC expiring July 16. When should I roll those? The next week or two, you'll be doing that. Let's go. Feisty Uncle Bruce. Anyway, what can I say? Rum and Coke because I'm basic. 230 on the stock, GameStop with 9 minutes to go. 230.71 right now. Welcome, Jordan, to the channel. Okay, Chandler, I'm holding 100 shares of all the SPACs. I want to buy more, but I'm waiting for a class. And let's see here. Hang on. Okay. Glitchfist says, honest, Harry, you have to let him know what the strike was. You could roll out and up for a credit. Gray Fox, Uncle Bruce, for a noob like me, could you expand on leverage when it comes to options and how this is good, bad, important? I believe I understand, but my experience with options is limited. Every options contract represents 100 shares. So if you're buying an options contract for $1, it's a $100 purchase. $1 times 100 shares, $100 contract. But if your contract goes up $3 in value to $4, you have a $400 contract here. When you have leverage over 100 shares, when a stock goes up $1 on the open market, and you have 10 shares, you're $10 richer, theoretically. On a contract, when a stock goes up $1, your contract might go up 50 cents. That might be a $50 impact to you instead of a $10 impact 5 times. If you're buying a call contract at the money, in other words, the stock is trading at $10 and you're buying a $10 call contract and the stock goes to 11, your call contract might go up 75 cents in value. That's $75 on that call contract. Now, if you paid $200 for it and it goes up $70, that's a 35% increase for a $1 move in the stock. A 10% move in a stock is a 35% increase in your value of a contract. That's leverage. It goes up another $1 to $12. Your call might go up 75 cents now, 80 cents now. That's another 40% on top of your original money. You are now quickly running up some cash here. In some cases, people will buy a contract out of the money. The stock's at 15 or at 10. Stock's at 10, but they buy a $15 contract. They're 5 out of the money, but the cost of the contract might be down to 50 cents or 70 cents or whatever. If you can get a 50-cent contract and it goes to $1.50 in value, you've tripled your money. Now, on one contract, a 50-cent purchase, a $50 contract, you're not going to get rich on a $50 contract. But buying 10 of them or 100 of them, now you're talking real leverage. 10 contracts, that's 1,000 shares of leverage. 100 contracts, 10,000 shares of leverage. Stock goes up $5 a share and you have 10,000 shares of leverage. This is starting to add up to some serious money. And that is why some of my viewers here are really giddy right now, because they're noticing that the shares that they're following with me, as they perform, they're beginning to realize, whoa, man, I had no idea that my $5,000 investment would be worth $40,000 in less than a week. I didn't know that could do that. What you pay for an option is what you risk. You can't lose any more than what you put up. So you put up 50 cents a contract, $50 a contract, you can only lose $50. But that $50 contract could be worth $500, depending on the move of the market, depending on how much time you got, how far out of the money you are, many factors. That's what leverage is all about. Leverage can be good, like I just explained, but it could be bad because the stock doesn't perform. Time runs out, your contract dies, worth zero, you lose all $50. Theoretically, though, you could sell your contract anytime you want. The minute you buy it, you can sell it right away. You can sell it 5 minutes later, a day later, it doesn't matter. Some people will buy a contract at 50 cents and sell it at 70. Some people will buy a contract at 50 and sell it at 40 because it's not working out and they lose 10 and they walk. And some people will buy contracts at $3 a contract, sell at 4 or sell at 2. They have limits as to what they'll take. You let a winner run, is what I say. You let a winner go, you might limit a loser. Or you roll out of a contract you're losing on and roll into another contract further down the road, time-wise, and at a different strike price to give you better positioning. This is what the classes will be all about, and much, much more. Okay, anyway, there you have it. Let's see what's going on. Thank you for the thumbs up. So far, 757 thumbs ups. We've got 4 minutes to go to get 243 thumbs ups to not have Yoko play on this turntable. If you can give me a thumbs up right now and get me over 1,000, we will not listen to Yoko Ono for the next hour on this channel. That's kind of scary. 771 now have come in. We're only 229 thumbs ups away from 1,000, and now we're at 778. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. 233 on GameStop. It's going higher. The high of the day, 241. 783 on the thumbs up. 786 on the thumbs ups. We're 214 away now from the thumbs ups. 793, only 207 more needed, and we will not play Yoko Ono. 207 is all we need. We're 798. We're going through 800 right now. Now we're 802. We need 198 thumbs ups as quick as we can get them to stop Yoko from playing on this turntable. We have 805 right now, 810. We need 190 more thumbs ups. If you can help me there, that would help you. 233 on GameStop, 1014 on Fortress, AMC 49.56, trying to hit $50 here. It's just below it, trying to reach 50 on AMC. Gores 1594, VGAC 1095, Vector 1046, Navsite 1001, Starboard 1006. All the SPACs are having signs of life. SOFI being held down 2237 right now. It is not able to break out for whatever reason. It seems to be held off. That means there's a buying opportunity on SOFI and a buying opportunity on SOFI call contracts. 848, the thumbs ups count. We need 252 thumbs ups, and we've got Yoko silenced. We have, however, only 3 minutes left to do it. This is a problem. I don't know if you guys can give me enough thumbs ups in the time we have left. We're down to 2 minutes and 26 seconds, and we have 849 thumbs ups only. We need 251 thumbs ups to not have Yoko playing on the turntable. Oh my goodness. I can't believe what I'm about to do with the needle on this record. NSH calls for 820, 12.5 strike, 40 cents. Buy them. Every time Bruce says something and I tweak the suggestion, 2 weeks later, I learned that my tweak was wrong and I just listened to exactly what he says. Let's see here. What else is going on? Does anyone know the broker you can use to do options in the Netherlands? Good question. Thumbs ups now, 868. We need 232. We're down to a minute and a half to go in this market. 136. We have 869 thumbs ups. We have 872 thumbs ups. We need 138 thumbs ups in the worst way, 128 thumbs ups in the worst way. And I don't know if there's enough out there to make this happen. We now need 121 thumbs ups to not play Yoko for an hour. Oh gosh, 880 thumbs ups. We need 120 more. We need 115. Now we're down to 115. Can we do it? 234 on GameStop. It's doing all it can to make you richer, and Yoko is spinning on the turntable. 887 thumbs ups. We need 113 more. We now need 109 more. 109, we're at 891, 894, 106 to go with a minute. We're down to a minute. Oh no, we're at 900. We need 100 thumbs ups. We're down to a minute. This is going to be close. This is going to be close. Just like they said on the Hunt for Red October. This is going to be close. Oh, we got a torpedo coming here. We got the Dallas coming here. We got the other one going there. We got 92 thumbs ups going, and we got this torpedo that's armed and the locks are off, and it's coming right for this turntable. We're at 918 thumbs ups. They're clapping over there. They're clapping. We've got 926. They're clapping. We're in trouble. We're in big trouble. 931. We need 69 thumbs ups. Oh, we're in big trouble. We're at 233 on GameStop right now, and I don't know if it's going to happen. Oh, the synthetic thumbs are in the middle of it now too. Oh no, 935. They're clapping. Is it over? Breaking news. Oh my gosh. S&P 500 record close. They're so happy. They're smiling. Oh, record close. The Dow ended up with a 6-point gain to bring it all back. S&P came up 8. NASDAQ up 48. And the thumbs ups are at 944. We're not there. We got to play Yoko. It's terrible. We didn't get 1,000 thumbs ups. What are we going to do? Oh my gosh. My 4'8" frame, I can hardly reach the turntable. Here we are. Yoko is on the turntable. Oh my God, we're playing Yoko. I don't believe it. Here it comes. Look out. Oh. We're playing Yoko. We're dancing. One hour of Yoko on the air live for all you to enjoy, because you don't want to give me 1,000 thumbs ups, the price you pay. Here she comes. Spin it. Here comes Yoko. Spin it. Fire it up. Yoko, Yoko, Yoko. He's playing Yoko. We're done. Drop the needle, buddy. There it is. Yoko, Yoko. I feel like Elon Musk. Spin it. Oh, no. Don't keep us waiting. We want to hear it. I was told there'd be Yoko. We deserve Yoko. Yoko! Time to deliver the Yoko. Yoko! Oh, baby! Let's party, baby! Oh no! It's Yoko! Yes! No! History being made! Now you can have a thumbs up. Oh yes! You've been hit and struck by Yoko. Thanks, Bruce. Yes, we love it. We're playing Yoko. Drum solo, baby. Yowza! It's a week of Yoko. History in the making. I bought my first opticals of Bruce, and now I'm hearing my first Yoko song. Yoko, Yoko, Yoko. And as usual, members become members of the channel when I play Yoko. It's incredible. Yoko, we're playing Yoko. Oh no. T-Bone sending me $10 because I'm playing Yoko. If you want me to keep playing Yoko, you send donations. Otherwise, it's coming off. It's coming off unless I get donations now. You got to pay to listen to this. We prefer PayPal. What a terrible YouTuber. Go Yoko, it's libation hour. That's right. They're becoming members so they can beg you to turn it off. She's got Jamaican influence, man. We got the reggae going with Yoko. We're in a fetal position, rocking back and forth. Oh no. Oh no. Another donation. Got to keep Yoko going. You should only play for non-members. Yeah, baby. This is what split up the Beatles. He can jam. Can't wait for the crews to have dance lessons. Cruise dance lessons, baby. 235 on GameStop, going up. Bill, thanks, Bill. My wife just walked. I'm leaving you. It's not as bad as I imagined. We got to get him a discography. Free drinks. What's happening? I love it, Uncle Bruce. Jane, thank you for the donation on PayPal. Thank you. That's rap. She's rapping now. Oh man, complete box set coming on. Please stop. Yoko's my jam. Dance moves. Dancing in plain English. How about that? A little Jamaican influence there. Oh man, what's the next track like? This song is amazing. You're only punishing yourself. It's 5 p.m. somewhere. Time to pour one. Yoko trivia tonight. Another donation from Mazuri. Thank you, Mazuri, on PayPal. Thank you. We're going to keep playing Yoko. The money's coming in for donations. Yoko. Oh, my God. What the hell is happening? I just got back and I missed it. Did GameStop go to the moon? Am I dead? Am I alive? What's happening? Are you all mad? Play that, Yoko. Another $15 to keep Yoko going. Is this magic or is this suffering? It's not as bad. It's even worse. Now make it stop. 236 on GameStop. It's going higher the more we play Yoko. Oh no, for some reason it's like I'm gonna go buy this thing. 236 going to 237. My cats are doing unspeakable things. Yoko is money. I'm kind of liking this. Non-stop Yoko hour. Oh no. Children power. Can't argue with that title. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Caring people, children power. You missed your true calling as a DJ, buddy. Oh man, they're libations, cats and dogs living together. His mass hysteria, unbelievable. Oh my gosh, I gotta put a stop to this. I gotta save my channel. Oh my gosh, did you like that? Did you enjoy that? Did you have fun with Yoko today? Oh my gosh. What can I say? My 4'8" frame can only take so much Yoko here at any one time. Oh my goodness. 237 on GameStop, up $4 on the aftermarket right now. Whew, that's not easy. I'll tell you right now, it's not easy. My gosh, Yoko is growing on me. I think you have to go a little at a time here. I think VGAC may be switching tickers. It's closed right now on different broker sites. Check it out. Whatever got maybe right on time. Maybe not. I don't know. The best song is coming up. The best song is still coming up. Oh, that's next time maybe. Oh man. Thanks, Uncle B. Awesome weekend. Oh my gosh. AMC did break $50, I guess. 50.24 in the aftermarket right now. Closing at 49.30 on the day on 212 million shares. That's what AMC did. Gore's at 15.94, up 38 cents for the final quote of the day. GameStop did close at 233. It's now 237.69. SoFi closed at 22.40. It's at 22.26 after hours. And there's a war going on there of some kind. I don't know who, what, where, when, but something's going on. The Dow ended up with a gain of 13.3. S&P up 8. NASDAQ up 49. And that's a new record for S&P, I know for a fact, for sure. Wow. What can I say? I can stop sucking my thumb now. Keep it going. GameStop's going higher. Oh, man. Yoko has been played because we could not get 1,000 thumbs ups by the bell. We got 1,000 now, but it's too late. We played Yoko today, 39 on the downside. Too many people wanted Yoko to be playing as opposed to not want it to be playing, and so it won out, and the Yoko album got put on there. What can I say? It's like eating waffles and pancakes at the same time. The madness of it. Uncle Bruce loved the retro space record player. Looks like something out of 2001 Space Odyssey. And let's see here. Pace yourself with the Yoko. It's a great responsibility. And GameStop momentum in the aftermarket, 237.25 on GameStop now. Just going higher. It's just going higher on GameStop. Volume 28,000 so far. And what can I say? Alrighty, let's keep going here. 327. And it was supposed to be 1 hour of Bruce dancing. There's only so much dancing Bruce can do before he has to stop. For his health, what can I say? Didn't it feel like an hour? Is that a memento from your dad's record shop? Nope, that is a memento of my 17th year on this planet. I was 17 and I had a student job, and I learned a lot in that summer. The summer '73, I think it was, or something along those lines. 72 or 73. I had been working for my dad's music store, and that particular year was a really rough year. The main street of Kitchener, Ontario, King Street, the big drag, they were ripping it up 4 blocks at a time. They would rip it up and then take sewer pipe out and everything down below out from the early 1900s and replacing it with all new sewage and piping and electrical and everything. I mean, the whole downtown is being brought up to 1970 standards from the early 1900s. And in front of my dad's store, the street was ripped up and only the sidewalks were open. People could walk. And then there were certain places where you could walk across the street, like once a block, you could walk across. So no cars. And my dad's business really took a shot. It really went down. The volume of business was really bad. And he told me in the spring, he says, I won't be able to hire you for summer work. I can't give you hours at the store because it's just so bad right now. So I knew I had to get if I was going to make any money this summer as a high schooler, I had to find a job. And I went to an employment, a Government of Canada student employment thing, and registered for work. And I got a call about a week later or a couple days later from the student center saying, there's a job. We found a job for you. If you want it, it's at a company called General Springs. And they make car parts, and you have to go to a hiring center. And I went, had a quick interview, and I had to get a physical. They sent me to a doctor to get a physical. I did that, and I got hired on the factory floor of a car part manufacturing company. And I worked for him for 3.5 months, 3.5 weeks. That was the deal, and I fulfilled it. And this was July, and minimum wage in those days was $1.50 an hour. That was the minimum wage, and I got paid $3.13 an hour base union wage, but I had to make a payment to the union of 8-12 cents an hour or something like that, whatever that was. So I was getting $3.13 an hour base wage, and for the first week, I that's what I got paid, and I did whatever I was told, and I always on time, Yes, sir. Whatever you want. How high do you want me to jump? I did whatever they wanted. Well, they took a liking to me. The guys there took a liking to my attitude because a bunch of the kids who had joined with me, they hired dozens of us. A bunch of them were gone in 2 days, 3 days. They didn't come back. But I kept coming in, and whatever you want me to do, I'll do. And on the second and third week, they started giving me what were called 200 percenters and 300 percenters. And these are jobs that they nicknamed on the factory floor that would pay you 200% of the base wage or higher, 300% of the base wage. Most of the jobs on the factory floor were basically the kind of job where you were working on a press and you would put some kind of a steel plate of some kind into the machine, hit the button, the press would come down, the thing would go up, and you would take this new piece of metal that now is shaped like the bottom of a gas tank or something like that, and you'd put it over here. And you'd be making these by the hour. And as many as you could crank out, you'd get more money as bonus money. And so there were guys on the floor that were making $10 to $12 to $15 an hour all the time when the base wage was $3.13 an hour and the minimum wage was $1.50 an hour. So in the glory days of the automobile business, when the unions really had the run of the place, these guys were making upwards of 10 times the minimum wage as parts makers that were really fast. And I would never be that quick because I just didn't have the experience and the and the desire to work my butt off like that. But they liked how I kept coming in and kept coming in. So the union steward one day came up to me. It was on my last week. It was a Monday. And he says, I got a job for you that's going to last all week for your last week. Or here, it was the last, however it worked. I think I started on a Wednesday and I ended on 3.5 weeks later on a Friday. So on the Monday morning, he takes me to this room at the back of the plant, much quieter without all the machinery, so I could actually hear myself think. And of course, we had earplugs and everything. And he says, this room right here is full. All these benches, all these benches all over the place, and all the guys that work in this room are on holiday this week. So this room is all yours. And on each bench are all of these used dies, and it's a piece of metal that fits in the bottom of a press and a piece of metal that fits in the top of a press. You put the piece of steel in the middle of it, and these two are pushed together, and then they lift up, and then the metal is all made into whatever it's supposed to be made. That's a die. You take the top out, the bottom out, and you replace them with another die. So the press machine has a different die on the bottom and on the top. Every job that is done or every part that is needed to be made, it's a different die. And these die makers, these tool and die makers, are producing these dies. They manufacture them, and off they go to make parts. Anyway, after they've been used a while, these dies are covered in all kinds of oils and greases and gunk and stuff, and they have to be cleaned up. And then they have to be put away for storage until they're used the next time, and they're perfectly clean to go into a press machine. And so the guy was showing me, the union steward is showing me what I had to do. And he says, you're going to clean up these dies this week. You're going to clean all these up. This is the whole room. You're going to take all of these and clean them up. And he said, but let me show you something. So he showed me the first one. He was showing me how to do it. And he was watching me clean one and showing me a couple of tricks. And this is how you do it. If you have any questions, you just let me know and I'll help you. So I'm figuring out how to clean the die. And I realized to myself, well, I can clean this thing in 30 minutes. No big deal. But then the guy told me the trick of the job. He says, this job is a 300 percenter. He says, you're getting paid $9.19. I'm getting paid $9.19 an hour for the week to do this job. And but the job has to last all week. And so we did the math. We counted how many dies there were. And we figured out that 5 days, there were, there were 20 die in the room. There were 20 of them in the room. And that meant I should do 4 a day. And that meant I should do 2 in the morning and 2 die in the afternoon. And I'm looking at this going, I can do 4 in like 3 hours. And I have to make all 4 take me the whole day to do. Because he said, there's no other job for you. There's nothing else to be done. This is the week for you. This is it. And if you clean them all up here, you're going to be standing here like this with nothing to do. And there were no there were no Walkmans for your music, to listen to your own music. You couldn't bring in your own iPhone and listen to your tunes. You couldn't bring in a radio and play a radio because you couldn't hear it because it was so loud everywhere. And so you'd be standing in a factory like that and no one to talk to and nothing to do. So he said, so pace yourself. Really pace yourself. Take bathroom breaks. I'm thinking, is it any wonder the union automobile relationship is on the rocks, because these are the kind of jobs that guys like me get. I'm a student. I'm a schlep. Anyway, I did this job for the whole week. I made $9.39 an hour for all 5 days on this 300%er. And that money from this union job for 3.5 weeks, I got paid, I don't know, $800 in cash. Oh, not cash. I got $800 in checks in like 2 weeks. 3 weeks I got this money. And that allowed me to buy this right here. I purchased my very own stereo, which was produced by Electrohome from 1974. I don't know if you can see that. There it is right there. That's the stereo right there. And this is an AM FM radio record player combo. It's got it all, baby. And I have two speakers. I've got the one speaker right over here, which you can kind of see right here. These are round space age-like speakers right there. As far as quality of that speaker, not so good. But as far as I was concerned, oh my gosh, I had the latest, greatest, funkiest machine in the world. Now, my best buddy, he had one of these, but he only had a record player. He didn't have the AM FM stereo radio system built in. He only had it as a record player, and you could buy those for about $100 some odd at that time. This unit with the AM FM stereo radio cost me $175. And when you make $1.50 an hour minimum wage, you do the math. That's $60 a week for a $174 unit. That's 3 weeks at minimum wage without deductions. Think about how much money this was. So that week, when I worked in the car factory making the $9 an hour, I made $300 gross that week, or whatever it was, 360 or whatever the heck it was. I ended up buying myself that stereo, and I ended up buying myself a 10-speed bike, and I bought my best buddy his 10-speed bike on a loan arrangement because he was working for $1.50 an hour at his father's insurance company as a yard guy, as a lawn mowing kid, and painting fences and maintenance work, just crap. And he was working in rain and in hot, sticky outside weather with the mosquitoes and the flies and yuck. And he'd come home every day and he'd need a shower when he got home every day to clean up because he was just a mess. I had to work this union job for 3.5 weeks, and I took a shower after every shift too. But I'll tell you what, after 3.5 weeks were over, I was done. And they did call me and they said, would you like another 3.5 weeks for August? I said, no, thank you. I appreciate it, but no, thank you. I wasn't going to do that ever again. But I made more money than he did for the whole summer. I made more money than he did in a shorter period of time. So I had my 10-speed bike. I'm driving my 10-speed bike for the rest of the summer, enjoying life, visiting friends and stuff, and had my stereo when I got home. I had a pair of headphones that I bought as well, so not to disturb the rest of the house in the evenings. And my buddy had to work the 10-week summer or whatever it was for $1.50 an hour. And then he slowly, over the summer, he paid me like $20 a week. He would give me every week for 6 weeks to pay for his $120 bike. And we could go tooling around together on weekends and all that stuff. Memories from way back when. So that unit is now 26 and 21, 47 years old. This stereo. This is from my teenage years, my pride and joy. And I had seen it. I had seen one of these for sale on eBay about a year ago or two, and they were asking $800 for these. Very few of these are in working condition anymore, obviously, with all the years have gone by. My buddy, his record player was in pretty rough shape. He had played it to death. But we used to play albums in his bedroom all the time on his cool space age shaped record player. So I got mine, but I had the AM FM stereo. So I got to listen to FM stereo in the evenings on my record player or my records, of course. And I loved it. I took this with me to college, to Toronto, and had this with me. So I always had my music and my records. But it's now come with me out west from Ontario way back when, and it's been with me wherever I go. This has been to the Cayman Islands and back, I believe, if I recall. Yeah, and just a great old machine. So there you have it. Now it plays Yoko on demand. How about that? What can I say, folks? Way back when. That's a story for you from way back when. Anyway, there you have it. Thank you, everybody, for being with me today. 236 now, not 238, but we're at 236 on GameStop. We did get to 238 briefly, I believe. Do you think you can make a shirt with your face over Yoko's? We need the 1985 glasses handed out for the class. $3.31 an hour in 1974 or 73. Yeah, 73. $3.31 an hour in 73. To give you an idea, a gallon of gas was 50 cents a gallon. So think about getting $3.31 an hour, 6.5 times the price of a gallon of gas as your base wage as a union guy. Today, wherever you live, you paying $3 a gallon wherever you are. That's 19.50 a gallon. 19.50, is that right? Yeah, 6.5 times. That's 19.50 base wage. Now you could make triple to 10 times that wage on the union floor. That was how big the money was. It was huge. There were guys working on that union floor who were buying a brand new car every 2 years. They'd get themselves and they would get themselves a Camaro. They'd get a new Camaro every 2 years. They'd run it for 2 years, sell it off used for half what they paid for it, if that, and they'd buy a new one. Because there were these young guys who were in their 20s, no high school education required for this job. There were guys making, obviously, $15 an hour in 1973. That's $450, $600 a week. After tax, they probably still took home $450 a week. That would be $1,800 a month net. When rent in 1973, you would have had a one-bedroom apartment for $125, and you were pulling in almost $2,000 clear. Yeah, that's good money. That is really good money. Groceries, $50 a week, if that. Yeah, that was those are good days. You go to see a movie with your girlfriend, tickets are $2 each, $4 plus maybe $3-4 in popcorn and snacks. You go on a date for less than $10 and you're making $15 an hour. Yeah, man, that was good money, really good money. That didn't last. Obviously, it didn't last. Have you ever been interviewed for a job you didn't get? Yes. Try to become a stockbroker. Trying to become a stockbroker, could not get past the interview process with a lot of these guys because they were so jaded. They were looking for business graduates from university rather than people who could talk to people. They just were so inept already inept in the early to mid 70s when I was 79 when I tried to become a broker in 78, 79. Could not get past the interview process because by that time already, to become a broker, they wanted university graduates on their resumes. That's what they wanted, and I was obviously upset because I had a college degree in Canada, but that didn't hold a hill of beans, and of course, being a watchmaker, that didn't help. But hey, I got in anyway. I found a way in, and then I ended up being a VP of a brokerage firm, and I passed all the guys that even interviewed me. I passed all them and made more money than they did. But what can I say? It was interesting times. Yeah. Here we go. This is why I love Bruce. Ask about a record player and get a story about his first job at a car manufacturer, favorite uncle. There was another factory in Kitchener, Ontario that was called Budd Automotive. BUDD was the spelling, Budd Automotive. And they were the big employer. They were the big factory employer. But the horror stories were coming out of there. Just horror stories of people who would work there and quit. Lasted not even a week. It was really tough. You could make the most money as a union guy at Budd Automotive. That's where you could make the biggest money. But the union guys that I talked to at General Springs, for the couple of guys I talked to, they said we don't make quite as much money as they do, but we have all our limbs. I thought, well, that's a good thing. Although I did see guys in the factory with missing fingers. it made you kind of go yicky. I had never seen so many guys with missing fingers before in one place. Yeah, but that was almost a sign of seniority there. It's just weird. But I saw guys there that were in their 20s and forward to their 40s. Very few past their 50s who could work there. Very few could work in there. You couldn't physically handle it. So they worked you hard. You worked your 15, 20 years. You made good money, and then you were done for. And I don't know what happened to him after that. I really don't know. But I knew I was never, ever going to do that full time. Michael, thank you so much for your donation on PayPal. I appreciate it. And all of you today who've made a donation to me on PayPal. Thank you. Yeah, Budd Automotive was the big employer in Kitchener, Ontario back then. But I don't even know if I doubt it's even around anymore. Everything is completely changed out. The automotive parts manufacturing business is no longer a North American thing. Really, it's almost not North American anymore. Amazing days. Things have completely changed out. The entire Rust Belt just got blown away, and that area has changed. Kitchener-Waterloo, which was a union town for union jobs, I think they had Goodyear tires was there. Goodrich tires were there making tires. They're gone, all gone. It's all now overseas work. The factories that were at the height, now you could not get built anymore in Kitchener, Ontario anymore because of environmental problems. There's no way you'd be allowed to build those factories anymore anywhere in North America. It would be almost verboten, much too polluting. And then, of course, working conditions would be next to impossible to pass through, unless it's non-unionized, and then maybe you can abuse the workers. But I don't think so. I think nowadays that wouldn't go. But Kitchener-Waterloo has transformed itself. It's now gone high tech. There's an Amazon center there, and I'm not talking Amazon warehouse. I'm talking Amazon personnel center there. There's BlackBerry was created there. Research in Motion was created there. A lot of high-tech companies were created in Kitchener, Ontario, and and spin-offs. So the kids of these union workers, these children, and the children's children are now taking Kitchener-Waterloo to a whole other level of entrepreneurship with respect to the software world and computer utilization and cell phones and everything else. It's fantastic. I mean, the place has been rediscovered. It's not a dead town. It's a thriving place. The University of Waterloo, world class for high tech training. What was I going to say? There was another thing I was going to mention about Kitchener-Waterloo, but it's really gone super green, I guess, is what I'm getting at, away from the factory to the corporate side. Oh yeah, Kitchener-Waterloo was known for insurance companies. There were some insurance companies headquartered there. Mutual Life of Canada, Sun Life was there. Dominion Life Insurance was there. A number of very large insurance providers were based there. I don't know why, I don't know how, but they were. And they've constantly expanded out. And there's been a lot of acquisition of other companies by these companies to get even larger. And so there are a lot of white collar jobs in the Kitchener-Waterloo area that have now taken out the blue collar, workers. And these were the guys, these blue collar guys. I remember them as a child because a lot of these guys would come into the music store, and especially the young guys. They wanted to. They were playing music on the weekends, so you'd have like welders, and you'd have carpenters, and a lot of construction guys. All these boys would come in on Friday afternoon, and they would have these brown envelopes in their shirt pockets that they were given by their foreman at the end of their shift on Fridays, because every Friday was payday. And they would come into the music store with these brown envelopes full of cash, because in those days, on the outside of the envelope, they wrote down how many hours you worked and what your rate was, and how much that gross was, deductions, and how much net pay you got. And in the envelope would be your net pay. And you would go with your foreman into the trailer, and once a week, the folks from the head office would come in with these pay envelopes, and you'd be brought in to collect your paycheck. And they would show you your envelope, and it would show you you're getting $220 this week, and they would just peel off the the 1120s and a 10 and 2 5s, and then put that in the envelope for you, and then hand you your envelope, and you've now been paid. You'd sign a piece of paper. I got my envelope, and then they would walk off the job with this envelope. They would then work their way through downtown Kitchener, where my dad's music store was, and some of these boys would walk into the music store with these brown envelopes hanging out their shirts, and they're here to buy something today, or they were here to make a payment against a loan that my father's store had given them. Some of these guys were buying electric guitars. They would put $100 down, and my dad would extend them credit for $250, and they would give my dad $50 a week for 5 weeks. And so every Friday, the guy would come in with his envelope and go, I got to give you $50 for my guitar. And he'd drop $50. He's, I need a set of strings, and I need a new guitar strap, and that's another $15. And he'd have the cash, and he'd just put it down, put the envelope back, and we'll see you next Friday. And off they'd go. And this is how my dad would build a rapport with his clientele. All these union guys who were hard work and dirt under the fingernail guys, and their faces would be covered in that muck, the dirt, and you could see the creases in their faces where the dirt didn't quite get in. You could just see how hard these guys had worked and the conditions they worked in. The wintertime, they'd be coming in with these big winter coats and their construction clothing underneath and their boots on, and some of them would still have their work helmets on, and they'd be coming in with those brown envelopes, and they go, I got to drop off $40 for my my loan, and they'd come in religiously, these guys, and once in a while, a guy wouldn't show up for a while, and we'd wonder, oh gosh, has he skipped town? We'd ask the other boys, hey, where's Henry? Where's Henry? And then we'd find out he hurt himself, or one guy said, I'll get him in here, and sure enough, an hour later, a bigger construction guy than Henry would be bringing Henry in by the scruff of his neck and say, you owe him money for your guitar, you bugger, pay him up. And he'd pull out his thing. I'm sorry. Oh, those are the 60s and 70s, but mainly the 60s. This is from the 60s. These union automotive workers, they would just get their checks handed. They would get checks handed to them. This is before the days of instant deposits. And you'd see these guys come downtown to their banks because the banks were all downtown. There were no regional suburban banks yet in the 60s. They had to come downtown to the banks, and they would come in with their checks, and they'd be lined up at the teller, and they'd have a $400 paycheck, and they'd want $300 in cash and leave $100 behind for whatever, and they'd walk out the bank with a whole bunch of money in their pocket. And the trick was, for some of the wives at home, is to get the husband from the bank right to the house without stopping at the music store or at the peeler bar or somewhere else to get this guy to come home with that money. And sometimes the wives would be at the factory with the car to pick the husband up after work, and he'd get into the car, and he'd hand her the paycheck because they had the chat the week before or the month before or 2 years ago. She set out the rules, and the rules were on payday she picks him up at the factory with the company car, with the vehicle, with the car, and they would then together drive to the bank together and do the banking. It was those young single guys that didn't have that disciplined life that were the trouble guys. They were the ones who would blow that money by Sunday night. It would be gone. They'd be back at the factory, broke as can be, struggling to get by till a Friday. In some cases, borrowing money from their buddies to buy themselves some lunch because they blew it all the last weekend. And then on payday, they would go with their buddy to the bank and pay their buddy right back, and they would never do that again, kind of thing. I mean, it was the world of that time. That was the world. There were no debit cards. There were no credit cards. It was cash. Rarely would you write a check for something on the spot. We occasionally had customers who would come in and ask if they could write us a check, and my dad would have to clear it. He'd have to give the green light. And in order to take a check from a customer in those days, you had to provide us with your driver's license and any other form of ID we could get our hands on in case this check is no good. But my father had this ability. It was unbelievable. A guy would come into my dad's store and want to write him a check, And my dad could size the guy up in 30 seconds and know right now whether this guy was good or not for the money. It was unbelievable, and he was so good at it. It was amazing. But occasionally he would ask him, "Is this check any good?" He goes, "As good as gold, Mr. Frommert, as good as gold," because these guys knew that if you wrote a bad check to this music store, the word got out to everyone else in town that this guy's checks are no good, and you were done for. You couldn't write a check to any other retail operation. You were finished. So your checks they better be good. And occasionally, and I mean rarely, a check would bounce. And my dad would get the notice from the bank, and he'd get this check going, "Oh, so-and-so's check bounced." And he'd call the guy up because he'd have his phone number, and the guy would be there in 30 minutes with cash and apologies up and down like you cannot believe. And he would compensate my father for any bank charges. Just do not cut me off. This is a one-off. It'll never happen again. Those are different times. Those are different. It was a different experience, a different era, a different everything. But it was there were a lot of guys that would make handshake deals in the store for credit. It was a different time, but we could tell. My dad knew who was a working musician and who wasn't, because the guys who would come in and look for a guitar, or they'd come in and they say, "I need 2 sets of strings. I'm going on I got to play a summer festival all day Saturday and Sunday in Guelph or in Hamilton or St. Catherine." And my dad would know, "Oh, you're in so and so's band. Oh yeah, I know that guy. He's the guy who leads that band is from the German club over there. You're the guitar player for those guys, right on." And my dad would know, "Oh, that guy's getting paid $50 Saturday and $50 on Sunday to play music, and he needs to spend $8 on guitar strings, and he's working full time at $120 a week at whatever, and he's making $100 this weekend playing music. That is big cash, big money." These guys were steady clients of my dad's, and they would bring in a buddy, and they'd say, "This is my buddy. He's a bass player. He's a good guy. He's in our band, and if he needed to buy a bass guitar on credit, he might have a third down, $50 on a $150 bass guitar, and my dad would carry him for $100 for like 3-4 months until he could pay us back." Those were handshake deals, and that's how you survived back then. It was on character. And it was character building and loyalty and devotion. And these guys would never shop at another music store because, hey, if this music store extends you credit, why are you buying strings from somebody else? What, are you out of your mind? You're not going to go to anybody else's music store. You're going to go back to the Dressler's Music Center in Kitchener, Ontario, and you're going to do all your shopping there. And you're going to bring your buddies there because you know these guys behind that counter, they're okay. They're musicians. They get it. And that was the world in my dad's music store from '64 till '86. That's how he ran it like that. He ran it on credit for about 5 years. After that, after 1970, the Visa card showed up, and it was the ChargeX card, actually, the ChargeX card, and then the MasterCard showed up. And in those days, you had, if you brought in you wanted to use your ChargeX card to buy a set of guitar strings, and it was a $5 purchase, we could run the card chick over the machine by hand and fill everything on a triple form. We'd fill it all out. You'd sign it, and then we would give you your copy of the receipt of the credit card form, and we'd keep 2 copies ourselves. We'd give you your card back. But if you wanted to make a purchase of over, oh man, what was it even? Was it even? Oh gosh, I think it was, even if you gave me a card, I had to check to make sure your card was okay. We used to get a weekly mail-in of these computer-generated booklets would come out from ChargeX and MasterCard, and it would be the latest list of cards that are no good. So if you gave me a credit card, I would, no matter what you wanted to charge, I would pick up the book and I'd look at the first 4 numbers. I go, okay, 0405, and I go through the book, 0405s, and then the next 4 numbers, 088s, and I find the 088s, and then there would be the last 8 digits, and I'd look for your card. If I couldn't find your card, you got a good card, and what do you want? But if you wanted $25 or more, you want to charge something for $30, you only had a $100 credit limit. You want to charge something for $30, I had to phone it in. 800 number. I had to dial an 800 number, which is on our cash register, and we would dial an 800 number in and tell them the name of the store, give them the card number, the amount, and then our merchant number. That's how it worked. And then she would say, usually a female on the other line saying, okay, here's your authorization number. And we'd write down on the charge form the authorization number, 8 digits long, and we thank you very much. Repeat it to her. Yeah, thank you. Hang up the phone. The client signs for it. And every customer in the store would be watching this whole procedure, like a $30 purchase on a credit card. And when we got the authorization number, that card was as good as gold for that one purchase only. It was when we would call for a $300 authorization, then the store got super silent, because now everybody was curious whether this guy here with the long hair could get an authorization on his credit card for a $300 purchase when you could pay rent for $150 a month. This is 2 months rent on a music purchase, on a musical instruments or get amplifier, whatever you're buying, drum set. We'd call that in and we would be praying that they'd give us the authorization number. And I have to say 99 times out of 100, we would get the authorization number. It was almost never that we didn't get it. And we'd get that authorization number. We'd write that thing down and read it back to them. And, yep, it's good. And we would be so happy at the music store because it was like a certified check. This is a certified, guaranteed purchase. We will not have a collection problem with a $300 purchase. And the whole store would murmur. Any other customers go, wow, that guy just bought $300 worth of stuff. Wow. Those are the days. Nowadays, oh my gosh, how much do you spend on a credit card without thinking about it? Has the world changed on you or what? My God, has it changed? And of course, today, retail stores could not survive today the way we survived if it was all cash. If you had to telephone any transaction over $25, can you imagine the lineup at the cash register of every grocery store, let alone like just to go get a tank of gas? You'd have people lined up waiting for authorizations. Can you imagine? And just cash, if people paid cash for everything they did, no matter where they went, to a restaurant or to a 7-Eleven or to a liquor store, you know how much cash would be in our cash drawers? I mean, it would be unbearably inconvenient. I mean, it would be so difficult to handle. And with governments now limiting currencies, the government of Canada won't allow anything more than a $100 bill to be printed anymore. They won't print a $200 bill, a $500 bill, a $1,000 bill. They won't do it. The biggest bill you can get is a $100 bill. To counter money laundering, yeah, well, what it really is to encourage you to use credit cards and debit cards so that every transaction you do is trackable. Because the big brother loves to track, and governments too love to track. Cash is very difficult to deal with as prices go up. And that's by design to bring it out of business and put us into the trackable society. There you go. So if you had to do everything cash today, think about paying your mortgage every month at your bank in cash, or your landlord for rent in cash. You can do it, but it's getting more and more inconvenient unless you're in the cash business. It's inconvenient all of a sudden. But back in the day, that was the king. When we had a customer pull out a $50 bill at our cash register for a $22 purchase, they pull out a $50. We'd all be looking, whoa, look at that. There's a $50. We don't see those very often. We would see the ones, the twos, the fives, the tens, and the 20s. Beyond that, man, it was a rare day. And a 100? Oh, those were super rare. A $100 bill. Man, and I remember in the day, we used to have pamphlets in the store how to verify the legitimacy of a $100 bill. Unbelievable. And I think I saw my first $1,000 bill when I was in my 20s. Someone showed me one once. He had one, let me hold it for a bit. Wow, that's wild. A $1,000 bill. They don't last. They don't exist anymore. I haven't had a $1,000 bill in my hand since 1994. I think it's the last time I had one. They, like I say, they don't print them. And I think nowadays, if you deposit a $1,000 bill at a bank, they'll take it as currency, but they won't hand it out to anybody else. It goes right back to the mint for cancellation because the government of Canada wants them out of circulation. Money laundering, yeah, to stop drug dealers, I guess. I don't know. What are you going to do? You know what? Did I ever tell you the customer before running his card, I trust you, but I don't believe you? Most customers who would give us a card with a $50 purchase, knowing we had to phone it in, they knew that. Every retailer had to do it. It didn't matter where you went. You went to a hotel. You went to a Holiday Inn and you were going to spend a week at the hotel, or you were prepaying for something for $200. You pulled out the card. Everybody knew the call had to be made. And I remember being the guy on the other side, being the guy with the card, and I'd hand the card to somebody for a call, and I'd pray that the call would go through, because it would be so embarrassing if it didn't. And I also remember the days where you would want to charge something on a credit card for $550, and you knew in your mind, I don't have $550 room on my card. It won't go through. But I've got a MasterCard, and I got a Visa card, and I got some money. So you'd say to the clerk, okay, try to put $150 on this one, and it'd go through. And say, try $200 on that one, and they go, no, it didn't go through, because they would try it. Nowadays, it's all swipe. Okay, try $150. Okay, that went through. Okay, that's $300. You need $250 more. I got a debit card. Try $150 on that. That went through. Oh, okay, I need $100. I have the cash. Cobblestoning money together when you didn't have it. But the clerk on the other end, they've seen everything. They've seen it all. They're used to any eventuality. Unbelievable. Nothing more embarrassing, though, than when you think you have room on your card and you don't. Oh, that's embarrassing, because now you get declined. Oh, and if there's 5 people behind you in line, oh, that's that queasy feeling. I hated that, but occasionally that can happen to anyone. Anyway, so what can I say? Thank you for listening to the stories. I hope you don't mind. $235 on GameStop right now. And there you have it. Oh, my. I remember those days in the 60s. I think up until the 80s, even up until the 90s, we had to make the telephone call. And it got to the point where it was like 60 or more you had to phone in. Under $60 it was okay. Any amount, 60. But over $60 you had to phone in. I remember those. Nowadays, you don't have the phone calls anymore. You just don't have them. Joel, Uncle Bruce, a calm in the storm. Go GameStop. There you go. Mike worked high-end restaurant in the 90s when the black Amex card was dropped. The whole place would know. Ooh, a black MasterCard, a black Amex card. Ooh, that's one of the big ones. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, here we go. I was concerned when ATM machines came out, because I knew that my husband, who worked night shifts, would have unlimited cash to blow on food late into his shift. Used to brown bag it. Yeah, that's right. Oh, way back when, the way it used to be. I remember my father received in the mail an envelope in the mail from Chargex, and they just sent him a card. He didn't apply for it. They just sent him one, and he opened this thing up, and there was a shiny credit card, Chargex, on it, and it had his name on it, and it had a credit card number on it, and it had instructions. And if you signed the back of the card, and as soon as you used the card one time, you were agreeing to all the terms and conditions in this document. And he showed it to me, and I'm looking at him, reading it, because I said to him, wow, this has a $100 credit limit on it. Like, wow, Dad, you can go buy stuff for $100 right now. And my dad would go, yeah, that's right. I can go buy stuff. And then I have to find the money to pay for it. And I went, oh, yeah, that's right. You still have to pay for it. It's not like this is money. This is the ability to utilize it as money, but it's not actually money. Oh, that's right. Then he said, well, let's read this together. And then he would read to me the interest rates. And he would explain to me how this worked. And I went, oh my God, you got to pay this much money to use this thing? This is incredibly expensive. Like 18% interest rates, 24% interest rates on a $100 line of credit. Of course, in those days, 20 gallons of gas would cost you $12. So you could fill up a tank of gas for $12, $15. You got a $100 credit card? That's like 6-7 tanks of gas. If you're only getting a tank of gas every week or so, this thing would last forever. And eventually my father gave me a credit card for the business. And he said, whenever you buy gas, use this credit card for the music store. And so I would drive to a gas station, and the gas guy, I'd say to the guy, fill it up, and he'd say, $8.20, and I'd hand him a credit card, a Visa or Chargex credit card. And at the pump, he would put the card in, he would chick, chick, right at the pump, and he'd write it down. Then I'd sign it in the car and hand it back to him. We did that up until about, 15, 20 years ago we did that? Now it's just do it yourself, buddy, and put the card in first and get the authorization. Things have changed. Things have changed so much now. Unbelievable. Anyway, there you go. Hey, Uncle Bruce, I wrote one GameStop covered call, $290, just before the close next Friday at 10:04. So you wrote it out of the money, $55, $60 out of the money for $10.04. Way to go. There's $1,000 for you for next Friday if they don't go over 290 by then. There you go. And if you get taken out, you're getting the 290 plus the $10. That's a $300 pre-sale of your stock. Hey, I like your odds. Could be all right. We'll see what happens. Would be if it goes to 500 share, it goes to 500 share. What can I say? Anyway, there you go. Bruce, didn't the gas cost more for credit than for cash? That depends nowadays. That's a relatively newer thing. That's in the last 20 years, where if you pay cash, gas is cheaper, and if you pay with a credit card, you pay more because the credit card companies charge the gas companies a fee to process gasoline purchases. Of course, gasoline, gas vendors, gas station operators. They cannot afford to take your credit cards. They can't afford it. They get nailed between 2 and 5% off the top. They don't have that kind of margin on their gasoline. So they charge you a 3 cents a gallon more to make up for the difference. In my sports clothing store, I had a sports clothing store with hats and jerseys and stuff. I told my customers, signage all over the store, we don't take credit cards. We only take cash or debit cards, no credit cards. Because I was sick and tired of the constantly increasing costs that the banks were putting onto us to accept these cards. Because customers were coming into my store and they wanted to use their platinum credit card, which would give them like extra points or extra cash back. Well, I paid for that. It would cost me 8% on one card, 3% to use this card, 4% to take in that card. I had to now become an expert at all the various levels of credit cards to figure out how much it was costing me. And I thought, enough's enough. This is it. This is crap. I'm not doing this anymore. I stopped taking credit cards entirely. And I never accepted an American Express. Never. It was purely cash or debit. And a debit card was 10 cents a transaction, no matter how much the transaction. It wasn't a percentage. It was just a 10-cent fee. And so if someone bought $8 worth of stuff or $80 worth of stuff or $380 worth of stuff, it cost me a dime to accept the card. Loved debit cards, but preferred cash. And so I rarely lost a sale. Person would come up to me and they want to buy a hockey jersey and this and that, $260, and they'd pull out an Amex guy. I'd say, I'm sorry, I don't accept American Express or any credit cards. And I would see the wallet would open up and they'd have Visa, MasterCard, Amex. And I say, I only accept cash or debit. And the customer would go, oh yeah, no problem. And they'd pull out the debit card right there. No problem, because they had the $500 lying around. If you've got a platinum Amex card and this card, chances are you got a couple of thousand lying around all the time in cash. And so to make my purchase, no problem at all. Yeah. Otherwise, I would send them to a machine. There was a bank machine just outside our store, just about 20 feet away. I could say, there's a bank machine there. You could go there and use your credit card if you want to get an advance. And you can get a credit card cash advance and then just bring in the cash. They say, I'll be right back. And they would do that. It would cost them 10%, but they didn't care. They had no cash, but they had a $5,000 credit line on their credit card. They'd go to the machine, pull out $500 and come in and drop $250 in cash. No problem at all. Whatever floats your boat, man. I took cash or debit. That was it. Those are the days. Credit cards made more sense than because you mail one check or Visa to whomever rather than carry cash everywhere, mail checks 10 different plenty places. Yeah, I guess. Now, of course, online banking for everything. But, credit cards, extremely expensive for the card holder if you don't play it right. If you play it wrong, it really can kill you. Anyway, that's the way it was way back when. Let's see. Thank you, everybody, for hanging around. We're getting to the end of our show here. I hope you had a good week this week. And And I hope you've had you made some money this week on some of your stocks. Thank you, everybody, for being here with me. I appreciate it. I'm charged a 3% flat on every card at my shop. Yep, there you go. Let's see. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend and enjoy. 236.22 on GameStop. That's where we're at right now. SoFi, 22.40 unchanged on the aftermarket. FAII, no trades on the aftermarket, close to 10.13. 4 days to the meeting. AMC is at 49.01 on the aftermarket. Gores, 50.94 on the aftermarket, no change. VGAC, 10.98 in the aftermarket, no change. So there you go, a quiet aftermarket, really. But we'll set up for next week and see what we can do. Thank you all so much for your incredible support. We'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight for trivia. That's right. I'll be back on the air in 2 hours for trivia tonight. On this channel and on TWB. Join me for trivia tonight, 7 o'clock, for members only. We'll have a good time, I'm sure. Okay, guys, there it is. That's it. Thank you all for being here, and have a great weekend. And we'll see you Monday morning, first thing. Let's make some more money. Yeehaw! I love it. Okay, talk to you later. Bye for now.